guys, what's up? My name's Tia. You're watching CC Bookish, and you guys saw that thumbnail, so I'm not gonna talk too much. But I have an excuse, okay? Part one of my excuse is I found a new website called Thrift Books. Okay, let's just make this $10 you get free shipping. The books are like maybe $4, so you get like 3 books and you get free shipping, and I can't control myself. Also, I actually left my house and I went to a couple different stores. Some of these from Amazon. I also ordered another package from Thrift Books that just hasn't come yet, so just wait for another haul. That's gonna be a whole nother one, because there's just like 28 books here, and the only book I'm missing right now is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia, and that's because we actually lost our mailbox key, so we don't have access to the mailbox, and it's gonna be delivered in the mailbox, so I just can't get to it. But it's here, I own it, I'm gonna read it soon. But without further ado, let's get started. So I separated these two piles into books that I've read and books that I haven't read. So I just want to say these piles are almost equal, okay? So it's not like I went out and I bought a whole bunch of books that I just added to my TBR. A lot of these I've already read. So let's get with the red pile first. I don't feel as bad. And the first book here is 5 to 1 by Holly Bodger. This book is set in like a dystopian-esque India, where the ratio to boys to girls is 5 boys to 1 girl. In this world, there's so little bit of them that they kind of had this competition pageant thing where 5 of the guys compete to be 1 girl, and they get married and have kids to further the race. And like, I love this book so much. It's like written in like half prose, half regular text, and it's amazing, and it's really interesting to see that kind of dynamic shift, because where women are so empowered, and I love it so much. The next one is a recent read. By recent read, I mean I finished this maybe like an hour ago now, and that is The Princess Saves Herself. And this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is a collection of poetry that talks about her life, and I think it was like I didn't hate this, but I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would, because the way people were like raving over it and comparing it to Milk and Honey, which I absolutely adored. I thought this book was like, eh. The next book I read quite a while ago, and that is The Reader by Tracy Chee. This book is set in a world where no one knows how to read and books are outlawed, and the main character, after it's like some stuff goes on, and she's a reader, so she's someone who can read in this world without books. So it's something really interesting. I like the concept of the world, and I enjoyed the book, and this is the first book in the series, so I'm looking forward to reading the next books. But I just wanted to get my hands on a copy, because when I originally read it, I borrowed it from the library. The next one is somewhat of a classic, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Obviously I read these books, I love them with all my heart. I was just watching Julie from Pages and Pens video, and she was saying she needs to reread these series, and I just totally agree. I found this at Strand on the outside where the books are cheap, so I'm so happy I got a copy, because when I originally read it, I read it on my Kindle, and I read it like in one sitting. I laid in my living room from like, it was like the sun was bright and shining until it was dark, and it was amazing. The next book I have here is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is the Target exclusive edition with like the beautiful fan art on the inside, and I love it so much. And it has the built-in bookmark, which is like so cute and gorgeous. And I read this a while ago. I think I read this my freshman year of high school, and I enjoyed it. It was a really cute story. It's about this set of twins called Kath and Ren, and they go off to college, and Kath is kind of like an introvert, and Ren is a little bit more extroverted. And when they go off to college, Ren decides that she doesn't want to room with Kath anymore, so Kath ends up being by herself, and she's a writer of this fan fiction series. And she makes friends with her roommate and one of her roommate's best friends, and this is a really cute story. The next book I have is Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, which I've already read, and I love this series, and I'm about to read the 3rd book, which is Pride, very soon. But this story is about our main character who, in her world, she's allergic to everything and constantly is sick. But when she enters a parallel universe, she is the most powerful witch, and it goes from there. And I thought this one was so cool. The concept of the story was just so interesting, and I had to pick it up. And now I'm about to, like, literally probably as soon as I finish this video, I'm about to go pick up the 3rd book in this trilogy. Next 2 books are part of a series, and that is The Mark of Athena and The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. I've already completed the Heroes of Olympus series, and I love them. I think my favorite was one of these two. I don't know, and I absolutely love these books. So the series, the Heroes of Olympus series, is the series that follows the Percy Jackson series, and it's another kind of Rick book where it's demigods, and this time you get introduced to the Roman demigods. So it's not just the Greek, it's Greek and Roman, and it's so good. It's quality books, okay? So the next one is another semi-recent read, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I had the promotional copy that I got from Bookhaul, and this book was so amazing, and I love it so much. And I read it, I loved it. I read the second book and I loved it, and only reason I have not read the third book yet is because I'm doing the reading quest, and there's nowhere I can stick that in, and I'm so upset because I'm like dying to read it, but I want to also complete this quest, but I like need to read it, and it's just an emotional trauma right now. But this book is essentially, the way they described it to me was The Hunger Games on Mars, which I was like, hell yeah, like why would I not read that? But the story is about our main character. He is of the lowest caste system, and he eventually like changes himself to go to this institute with the people of the highest caste system, and he like has to fight just to like fight, and just like, oh, it's so good. Just pick it up, like it's so good. Just read it. Okay, so next book is something that I feel like everyone has read, and I feel like if you haven't read it, go read it. But this is The Book Thief. This is the 20th anniversary edition by Marcus Zusak. Now this book follows our main character Lucille, and the story is set in Nazi Germany, and when her family hosts a Jewish man in her basement, and that's where the story follows. And it's just, oh my god, this story had me in tears. It's such an amazing piece of work, and just go read it. So the next one I have is Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs. This is the set of short stories that goes with the what's it called, the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. This is like the short story collection that goes with it, and I read them. They're so cute. I like them. And the last book for the red pile, yes, I still have a whole nother pile to go through, is Outlander by Dana Gabaldon. This is the first book in the Outlander series, but this is the 20th anniversary edition. And yes, upon reading this, I have noticed a lot of aspects of this book that really aren't okay and should not be showcased in stories. But I still enjoyed this book, however, and I went to this edition of it. I do plan on continuing with the series. I actually own the second book, obviously not in this gorgeous edition, but I own the second book and I do plan to continue. But I am aware of some of the stuff that goes on in here that really is not okay. So that's it for that pile, and hopefully this pile goes a little bit quicker because I haven't read these. But the first one is Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. This is a story about I think a Jewish man in the internment camp in Nazi Germany. So one is Lemony Snicket's The Bad Beginnings, Orphans, and this is like just the first book in the series of Unfortunate Event. But the next book I have is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. This is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. I have not read Airfire, but I picked this one up because I was ordering from Bookhaul and I just wanted to, so what are you gonna do about it? The next one is Death Note, books 7 and 8, volume 4, the black edition. Can we just acknowledge how gorgeous this is? Like, can we just? I love it. I dropped it. I actually dropped it that second time. So if you don't know, Death Note is like this, okay, so it's this manga, but it's about this guy who finds this notebook, right? And every time he writes in a notebook, someone dies. And it's just, oh my, it just goes so crazy, and it's just a quality manga. If you have, like, this is my favorite manga. Mind you, I haven't read a lot, but like, this is my favorite. The next book I have is a really important book to me, and that is Her Butterfly Diary by B.L. McGrew. I found out about this author, B.L. McGrew, because of the Bookhaul app, and I saw her process, like writing this book and saw her like promoting, and I just really want to support her. So I got this copy, and it's signed and personalized, and I'm really excited to read this because I like supporting authors, and this is a self-published author, so give her some credit for this. So yeah, I think this one is about a girl where she has PTSD from something, and she like she doesn't speak much, so she writes in her diary, and that's her way of expressing herself. And I think this is her diary, which I was actually really interested in seeing, because I like those kind of contemporaries where they have like a deeper like, you know, it's not just like fluffy and love. It's like she has a mental illness, or she lost a leg, or schizophrenia. It's just something, just that extra level to it that I feel like adds more depth, because when it's just like a regular love story, I just can't, like, it's just boring to me. Next one I have is Scythe by Neil Schusterman, and yes, this is Damage, and I got it at a discount, that's why I got the Damage one. Set in a world where there's like no more sickness or something, so these people have to like train to kill people, which, like, hello, murder, why wouldn't I want to read that? Next book I have is Witch's Daughter by Paula Braxton. I don't know what this book's about, but I accidentally bought the third book. I didn't know it was the third book, so I bought the first book to read it. The next one is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. This is a really popular book on BookTube right now, but this is set in a world where every violent crime creates a monster, and depending on the severity of the crime, the more severe or the more violent the monster is, and that's like, hello. I read her Shades of Magic series and I absolutely loved it, so couldn't wait to pick something else up by her. The next book I have here is Trust Me I'm Lying by Mary Elizabeth Summer, and this one I believe follows like this girl, and she like lies a lot or something, but like something happens, I don't even know, but it sounded interesting. The next one's a really popular one right here, and this is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and holy balls, it's gorgeous. I love it. But this one is about this guy named Monty, and I think like when you come of age or something, you have to go on like this quest around Europe, and it's about that, and this guy ends up falling in love with, he goes with his sister and his best friend. I think he falls in love with his best friend. So that sounded pretty interesting, and it was like getting so much hype on BookTube, so I decided, why the hell not? The next one is another one that's really popular on BookTube right now that I cannot wait to pick up, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This book follows our main character Star, who at 16 years old witnesses her unarmed best friend being shot by the police, and it's like Black Lives Matter galore, and it's been on the #1 bestsellers list, the New York Times #1 bestsellers list, for like 46 weeks. Like, it's like, this is quality book here. Like, why haven't I read you yet? Like, what have I been doing with my life? Anyway, the next book I have here is Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter. This is about our main character who I forget, it's like Russian folklore. Like, I think, okay, so what I know about this is like this main character, she has a doll. Night lasts a really long time. It's set in like some sort of alternate universe Brooklyn, and she has to go to the store, and the storekeeper like kills people if they shoplift. Even if they don't shoplift, he kills people. So like, yeah, I don't even know. The next book is a really exciting book, and that is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. This is a third book in the Red Rising trilogy. I just hold the first one. I have the second one somewhere behind, I think right here somewhere, and like, I just want to read it. Like, I just can't, because this readathon, but like as soon as this readathon's over, I'm like, And the last book I have in this super huge, unnecessarily large book haul is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman. So yeah, this is, before you can read Lady Midnight, you're supposed to read these. So I said fine. It was on Book Outlet, so I picked up a copy so I could read Lady Midnight. Oh wait, guys, I forgot to tell you, I got more Funko Pops. You ready? I got more Funkos. Oh my god. So if you guys don't know, I collect Funko Pops. I don't have a lot of them, but I got like, how many did I get? I got five. Okay, so these two are from Game of Thrones. This is Jon Snow, who I adore. Look how cute he is. Oh, he's so precious. Okay, and then I also got Bronn, and this is Jon Snow's brother, well, his half brother, and they're just so, oh god damn it, John, they're just so precious. I love them. Okay, I also got two from Miss Peregrine's Home for Your Children, and that is Jake, this is like the main character, and Mr. Broad. Just look, I think he's so creepy, but I love it. Like, look how, like, his eyes are like this kind of like blue. He's just so creepy, but he's so cute. Okay, and the very last one I got is Dobby. Look, he has a little sock in his hand. You look, his little sock here. That's just so adorable. I just love these things so much. They're just so cute. Do you want them? They're just precious. Alright, so I think that's it for my book haul and my Funko haul. So if you guys like this video and think that I bought way too many books, which I probably have, also you can tell me how crazy I am, because I need to stop buying all these books, but it's okay, you know. it's fine, you know, because I totally don't have another package coming. Yeah, so I have a problem. If you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe down below. My name's Sia, you're watching CC Bookish, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!